everyone, and welcome to Daily Newspaper Analysis, which is brought to you by Losico. So, today we will discuss two articles. The first is from the Hindu newspaper, which is titled as Interference an Investigating Officer Can Do Without. So, this basically talks about the judicial interference that is often seen meanwhile the investigations are done in the various cases. So, how does it hamper the proper investigation, and what can be done in this regard has been discussed in this article. The second article is from the Indian Express, which is titled as India's Afghan Investment. So this article talks about the power giving of the Taliban, basically the rising power of the Taliban in Afghanistan, and how the Indian investment that India had been doing since so many years to upgrade and upskill Afghanistan and to become to have family friendly relations with Afghanistan are at stake. So they will be discussed in this article. So this newspaper analysis is presented by me. My name is Sheva. I am a law graduate and I'm working here at Losico as manager for current affairs vertical. If you wish to connect with me, you can find on my LinkedIn as well as Twitter handles. The links to both are available in the description box below. Let's see what is the descriptive question of the day. Does India follow separation of powers in the real sense? Give reasons for your answer. So if you wish to download the PDF of the slides or wish to get any other study material, you can join our Telegram channel. The link to this channel is also available in the description box below, or you can simply scan this QR code that you can see on your screens right now. Also, for other information and interesting content, do not forget to follow us on our Instagram channels for Losico Judiciary, CLAT Prep, as well as UGC Net if you're preparing for any of these exams. So let's start our discussion about the first article of the day, which talks about the judicial interference in an investigation. So recently, there have been growing instances of judicial interference in the investigations. So let's talk about this into detail. The Supreme Court in the case of Vishwanath Biradar versus Deepika and others in the year 2021 itself held that courts have no authority to direct an investigating officer to direct the arrest of any particular individual connected with a crime. And basically, that should depend on the prerogative of the investigating officer or the investigating agency itself. Let's understand also that why this interference is undesirable in nature. So, under the law, a person is innocent until he is proved guilty. And also we know that we follow this principle of innocence in the Indian criminal system, that unless the court proves a particular person or the court convicts a particular person with a crime, so till then that person is considered to be innocent. And harmful to police morale and cuts at the roof of field policing. So basically what happens is that if at all the court tries to interfere into any of this sort, then it actually puts down or brings down the morale of the police as well. And also many a times it can be thought that maybe the police officials are not competent enough, and that is why the courts or the judiciary has to give in the directions, which definitely should not be the case. Also, the Criminal Procedure Code vests sufficient discretion in an investigating officer to take such decisions, arrests, searches, and dropping off action. So here we need to understand that already the investigating officer has been endowed with enough powers and enough jurisdiction that he does not really require orders from any other authority, and he himself is very much legally equipped to take any actions, be it of arrest, searches, and dropping off action. So what courts should understand right now is that the police are a well-established hierarchy and that they're obligated to ensure objectivity during criminal investigation, and definitely they will make sure to do this, and that every investigation is supervised at two senior officers whose duty is to ensure that the investigation are taken care of lawfully and also are impartial in nature. So here the interference is required only when the supervisors fail their duty. So yes, of course, if it always say that should the court ever interfere or not? So yes, maybe judicial interference may be required if at all the interference, is may be required if the supervisors also in the police hierarchy are not able to work efficiently and properly. But if that is not the case, then we should let the police officials work independently in this. So here there is another thing that we need to know about is about the mandatory FIR. We need to educate the executive and a common man as well that it is mandatory for every police station to register an FIR. Now many a times in various movies also we must have seen this case that a person moves to the police station and the police officer, he denies to register an FIR. So please understand that this is completely illegal, and every person, now be the case, be on any merits or not, that can be definitely proved upon the investigation, but it is the mandatory duty of the police officials to register an FIR. Also, the Criminal Procedure Code makes it obligatory for the investigating officer to write a diary that details the actions taken every day following the registration. So here the article also provides the concluding remarks, and it says that to paint all the police officers with the same brush is hugely unfair to a majority of investigators. That yes, maybe there could be some officers who are corrupt or who are not very much efficient in conducting their duty. But of course, we cannot generalize the situation, and thus we should not lose the faith that we should have in all the investigators. So let's discuss the second article of the day, which talks about India's Taliban investments. So the Taliban's possible triumph in Afghanistan threatens India's 20 years and also $3 billion worth of investments in various projects. Now, as we know that as per the promise, the President of America, Joe Biden, is now withdrawing the troops, the American military, back to America, and now they will not be serving anymore in Afghanistan. So definitely there is this fear that now the influence of Taliban will ever increase, and thus it would not let the democracy to bloom in Afghanistan. Now, keeping this in mind, when, if at all, in the coming future, Taliban's triumph or its emphasis or its presence increases in Afghanistan, so definitely the efforts that India had been making since last 20 years to make peace in Afghanistan, because obviously India also shares border with Afghanistan, and if at all there is terrorism going on in Afghanistan, there is a good chance that they can percolate and move forward to the Indian side as well. And of course it is a neighbor, and it would not want that there should be any kind of terrorism or any unpeaceful activity going on in the neighbors also. So that is why since the last approximately 20 years, India had been doing a lot into the peace talk in Afghanistan. And also India had invested into various projects in Afghanistan that were about $3 billion worth. Now, these projects included, for example, libraries in Afghanistan were made, schools and educational institutions and everything. So India was partnering at a very, at a forefront regime to bring forward peace and education in the system of Afghanistan. So if you try to understand about the India-Afghanistan relationship, so after 2001, India re-established ties with Afghanistan by joining the world in shunning the Taliban regime. Also, India built vital roads, dams, electricity supplies, transmission lines, substations, schools, and hospitals in Afghanistan. And in 2011, India-Afghanistan Strategic Partnership Agreement was recommitted at India's assistance to rebuild Afghan infrastructure and institutions, education and technology assistance for capacity building over there. Because obviously, more the development, lesser would be the chances for terrorism to survive. And if we understand about the current bilateral trade that India has with Afghanistan, it is approximately worth $1 billion. So Afghanistan is the only SAARC nation whose people have much affection for India. Now, this we have also discussed before, that if we talk about the SAARC countries, which are the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, so we have learned that not many countries are, many times in favor of India or not very fond of India, especially because of the tussle that goes on between India and Pakistan. But Afghanistan has been the only SAARC nation that has been into much affection and support for India, and that is why India needs to preserve this relationship that it has with Afghanistan currently. So definitely there are a lot of projects across Afghanistan that are being funded and aided by India. So around there are 400 plus projects in all 34 provinces of Afghanistan. So some names are the Salma Dam project, Zaranj Dilaram Highway, the Parliament building over there, the Store Palace. Then we have power infrastructure, health infrastructure, and even transportation that India is assisting Afghanistan into. So that is why it is very important for India that this culture or this tie, the bilateral relationship between the two countries remains, and Taliban does not have any negative impact on it whatsoever. So this was all for the day. We hope it was a good session for you. Thank you so much for staying tuned with LawSikho. Please subscribe to our channels for never missing an update. Thank you.